All right. Hey, welcome to the Go for CEO channel, everybody. And thank you once again for being here with our CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs. The best stories on YouTube for these types of people that are running real businesses in America. You know, the down home nitty gritty. Every day we're talking about marketing, scaling, operations, and all the things that it takes to be a real CEO and actually be driven by mindset and be a CEO of your own business, of your own life. So I've got a special guest today. And by the way, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, become a part of the Go for CEO community so that you learn from CEOs like today, Carmen Taglia from Tag Marketing. This guy's been a buddy of mine in real life for many years now, and I've just seen him grow so much and done some incredible things. We're doing some outside stuff and business things, but excited to have you on, Carmen. Thanks so much for joining the Go for CEO community. How are you?
Thank you, man. I'm doing awesome. Thanks for having me on the channel. Yeah, love to sit down with you and talk a little and explore whatever it is, man.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. I know that you're always kind of chill, relax, but you're also a beast in business and a lot of things that you've done, right? You've created your own business. You now have family in there, and you just created a really great community for your part of it with Tag Marketing. So take us back, because our community loves to hear kind of what was the journey to get to the point of starting Tag Marketing. So a little bit about your background, a little bit about kind of how you started to formulate the idea, like, hey, I'm going to get into the digital marketing space. So take it away.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, going way back, coming out of college, coming out of high school, stuff like that. I mean, I always know that I wanted to be in, marketing, in the graphic arts. I actually started off as a graphic designer, and I kind of made that journey from there. That was my starting point. About 20 plus years ago, started working for small to medium-sized agencies as a designer. Realized I'm pigeonholed. I'm never going to make any money being a designer. In fact, the median income for designers with all the technology and internet and everything else has actually gone down over the years. All the Fivers, all the crowdsourcing, stock photos, I mean, it's gone way, way down. As well as the, what you see, what you get type software that's also readily available. So I figured, I need to make money. What can I do besides graphic design? So I started into web design, and I started into actually creative directing and things of that nature. Worked my way up from small, medium-sized agencies, saw how they were running their programs, how they were running their campaigns, and just really soaked it all in and learned from them. And realized that I could do it on my own and go into business with my family and do it all by myself, Since then, going from solo graphic designer to, marketing, web design, small, 1-2 man shop. Now we have 8 people, which is nice. All family, and then employees. Just living it up and loving it, man.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, let's take a step back, right? When you start thinking, hey, I'm working for someone, I'm learning. I get my degree, I'm learning. I'm in an industry and I'm learning. But then you kind of have that epiphany. You actually said, you're like, well, how do I make more money? How do I get more control? How do I determine my own income? And that's part of becoming a CEO, right? Of just that mindset. So tell us, what were some things that you were thinking about as you transitioned into your own business? Did you did you start part-time kind of freelancing at the beginning and then create an established, real corporation, or a little bit of those steps, just so people understand kind of what was the pathway?
Yeah, I mean, basically for me, I started freelancing while I was still working, doing it at evenings, doing it, on my lunch break sometimes, because people would call you and, have requests and stuff like that. So basically like double dipping, right? No. And then just going on from there. A lot of it was, running a business. Yeah, you have to teach yourself, but I mean, it's also not rocket science. You have to be able to be fluid and learn about things on the fly and as you go. How to price your work was a very big deal in the beginning. What do I price? What do I charge? What am I doing? I obviously can't charge giant agency rates, or I don't have the clientele that the agencies that I'm working at have. So I have to therefore, how do I price this? You know, how do I go about this? But yeah, I mean, it's not rocket science, really. It's really about rolling up your sleeves and doing the work and figuring it out on your own. You know, I mean, I've been on my own for over 10 years now,
Mm.
and it's just like it's night and day to where I was 10 years ago working for somebody. Being completely on your own, and taking the training wheels off. You can only go forward. You know what I mean? It's like if you lose the momentum, you're falling over, just like riding a bike. I mean, if you're not moving forward, then forget it. You're moving backwards, man.
And everybody has different styles, right? I know that, like I said at the beginning, you're kind of a more of a chill. You take your steps. I've seen some of the processes that you do when I've introduced you to clients or prospects, and you take them through steps. So one of the things I'm curious about is obviously maybe what did you learn from the jobs, right, that you had 11, 12, 15 years ago that you then implemented into the way that you started doing business? What are some secrets that you took from other industry or other corporations?
Well, I mean, everybody starts their buyer's journey in the same place when they come to you, right? Everybody has the same challenges. Everyone has the same pain points. And you just need to realize that that is how you speak to people. You're not talking about your services and what can I do and everything I can do for you. Everybody in this business comes to you saying that they can dunk a basketball, and when push comes to shove, they can't, man. They can't dunk a basketball. So I mean, at the end of the day, you have to really listen to your clients and listen to your customers and figure out what are their needs, what are they going through, how are they shopping for this product, or how are they shopping for your services. Don't just list your services, because at the end of the day, you have to resonate with people. That way, you're sitting on like the same side of the table with them instead of across the table from them. And just be naturally helpful. Ask a lot of questions, figure out exactly what they want, and go from there.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So taking that process, right, and making it your own and understanding kind of how the way that you want to go to the marketplace, right? So tell
Sure.
me, what were some of the first clients? Did you get them through just your own digital marketing efforts? I know 10, 15 years ago was actually feels a lot different than obviously nowadays,
For
right?
sure.
2021. But what were some of the ways that you attracted those first clients? I think you said that you were a little bit moonlighting, a little bit double dipping, but tell us that journey of getting those first 2, 3, 4 clients, and what did it mean to you? How did you attract them? Those types of situations to really kind of start to solidify your voyage to go on your own.
No, exactly. I mean, starting off like a lot of businesses, it's referral, word of mouth,
Mm.
pounding the pavement, meeting people. My first set of clients were people that, I was involved with in another way. I wasn't just out there and, you're not a cowboy. You're not the best thing in the world. You don't just like hop up a website and then there it is. Everybody starts off in that same position of referrals, working your referrals, getting business from family, friends, whoever. And then after that, you start to realize like, wow, I need more of this. How can I turn more referrals? How can I convert more referrals? Everybody thinks that they get a referral and they convert it at 100%. They don't. In fact, you don't do it at 100%. So then you're like, well, these people are going to look me up online. Well, when they look me up online, I better look like I'm professional, right? I better have a website. I better have marketing things in place. Starting off, I mean, back then it was a lot more simple. I mean, we just had the web, a little bit of social. I mean, the last time, I had a job for a company, I had to submit a fax resume to somebody. You know what I mean? Like that's how long it's been since I've been doing this, right? So I mean, back then, yeah, the game was a lot different. Now, I mean, the same thing kind of applies. You have to have a home base. You have to have a foundation. You have to have your website, and the branding needs to match on your LinkedIn, and the messaging needs to match on your Facebook, and those are the channels all coming in. So yeah, you want to make sure that all that foundation stuff is solid, for yourself. And then you can start marketing to it, So then you start realizing, well, last month my website had X amount of sessions and X amount of hits, and now it's getting more. Oh, maybe I should invest in SEO. Maybe I should invest in like driving traffic, starting at that top of the funnel and siphoning them in. Then you figure out, well, now I'm converting people from strangers into leads. How do I get better quality leads? What kind of content am I putting out there that resonates with these people? How are they converting? And then what are they doing after that? Are they turning into customers? And if not, why? You have to figure that out as you go every step of the way. You're trying to get from A to Z, but you really need to concentrate on the micro conversion, getting from A to B, B to C, C to D. Because if you try to chew it all at once, it's too much. It's overwhelming.
And it's interesting, right? You just kind of described operations, right? And really, when you start your own business and you're your own boss, sometimes you miss those operations, those steps, those standard operating procedures, right? The SOPs they call them. So interesting, right? So you're in those first 90 days, a year. Tell us a little bit about just the challenges, even just financially, right? Had you saved up for like 90 days of expenses? How did you start up that process to be able to did you get funding? Did you go to the SBA, Small Business Administration? What are some things that you did to kind of know that you'd have enough capital to push through some of the dark times, right, of business?
I had a very interesting startup. You know, I was on Fear Factor and actually won. So I had 50 grand in my bank account, so I can actually quit my full-time job and actually go into business for myself and have a little bit of padding. But yeah, you do need startup capital. Get it from however you're going to get it. Mine was not, traditional. Mine was, I went on a game show and I won, reality TV, and I won. And I was able to take that money and, okay, now I can start my business with this. You know what I mean? But if I didn't, I would have had to have gotten funding from somewhere because, starting off, you start off with very, very little. So you need something to run your operation with. So, yeah, you definitely need startup capital. I don't think anybody else is going to do it the same way I did, but
Well, love it. Love it. Well, hey, it came to mind. I'm like, man, that would be a great keyword for this title. Champion of Fear Factor starts his own business, right? Him and Joe Rogan competing for the multimedia empires.
oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, cool. No, hey, look, sometimes it's, there's a lot of people that have won the lottery and they didn't do what you've done, right? They've blown the money, or maybe they got some inheritance, so Go for CEO community. What you're hearing here is he took an opportunity. He had already kind of planted the seeds of being able to become his own business owner. He was twilighting, he was midnighting, whatever you want to call it. He was double dipping. And then he got a chance to win a significant amount of money to be able to make an impact to go on his own. So all right. So, hey, now you're in business. You've got that capital behind you. You got a first few clients. Are you going in your business? Is it more of a monthly revenue, or did you just go after just deals like, 1,000 here, 5,000 there, 10,000 there? What was some of the ways that you went after the market in the way that you priced yourself?
Well, first things first, when you first start off in business, you're happy to take whatever scraps come to you, right? Like anything that comes through the door, you take. But then after you start doing it for a couple of years, you realize you start to form patterns, and then you also start to form patterns of success, right? So you get jobs in, you start to create like a niche, instead of being like a generalist, you start forming this little niche. And it's sometimes you just say, hey, I'm going to target this and that's that. But for me, it was more, I just started realizing that B2B was a very good fit for me. Financial industry was a very good fit for me. And I made a lot of money with those industries. And, I was very good at doing what I do for those industries. So it's easy to repeat success based upon your current success, your current case studies. So basically, yeah, everybody starts off, taking everything because they're, scared and worried. But then you realize, like, this is what's profitable. This is what is a good fit for me. This is an industry that's or clients that aren't going to drive me crazy. These are the ones that, get it. Just good fit clients. And, we still to this day work that way. We only want to work with good fit, happy clients. Somebody that's extremely difficult, extremely needy, no budget, no nothing, no this, no that. You can't work with people like that. And there's nothing in the rule book that says you have to work with everybody. I'll try. I'll take anybody's, phone call, but at the end of the day, you only have so many hours in a day to spend time with the people that are worth spending time with.
No, yeah, and time is a precious commodity. The only thing that we can't, buy back. We can buy it in advance, right?
Sure.
And position ourselves with better ways. And so, look, you start on your own. You get this capital that you want from being on Fear Factor, and it's a nice little nest egg to get started. You identify that the financial industry seems to be somewhere where you're having some wins. You start to duplicate that factor in the ways. So what are some things that you did then to realize like, hey, I may need to bring on some people? Did you start with a vendor network initially, or did you right away look at maybe some family? I know you talked about working with family. How did you expand your efforts and multiply through either vendors or independent contractors or employees? How did that journey go?
Yeah, I mean, to start off with, I'm a lot older than my brother. He's about 9 years younger than me. He was just coming out of college. Same thing, same types of degrees that I was going for, advertising and design and marketing. And so he just had gotten out of school. I took him on as a subcontractor. He was still working part-time at his job, wrapping up school. Took him on, and the good thing about working with family is hopefully very similar work ethics. It's very rare that you have people all coming out of the same family. I mean, you'll get one or two that are like, oh well, not quite the same work ethic, but I mean, he has the same hard work, roll up your sleeves, tough guy work ethic that we all have and had instilled in us. And then from there, my sister took her on as a subcontractor, and she had just was in the printing industry, and at the time the printing industry was dying. She worked for some really big print houses that just all went under. So she actually went back to school and took up web programming and web design, and decided that that's what she wanted to do. Took them on as subcontractors at first, and then was able to take them on as full-time employees. And then from there, I would have my subcontractor vendors that I would go to sub work out to, like design, copywriting, things of that nature. Then eventually I was able to hire and find the right people to do that in-house. It's nice to use subcontracting and freelancers to build your talent base before you hire, because it helps you hire a little bit better, because now you know what you need to hire for, instead of, before a subcontractor or freelancer, I'm just going to hire for a position. We made that mistake too. We tried to hire in the beginning without, freelancing and subcontractors, and it never worked out well. We always had a really good experience with people freelancing for us first, coming in. Even when we would hire people, we had like a 90-day trial period where it was like, okay, we're going to cut your teeth for 90 days. And then if it all works out, we'll hire you on full time. And, that's worked out really well for us. And then working remotely, that's always been a big winner for us, because we don't have to get somebody in our backyard that wants to drive 10 minutes to work every day. We have designers in the West Coast. We have some in Louisiana. We have our copywriters on the East Coast. We have a copywriter in Ohio. We have one in South Carolina and Ohio. So, I mean, you're able to get that bigger talent pool that, you wouldn't be able to get locally.
That's interesting. I mean, you're talking really about scaling, right? And understanding kind of everything that you're doing, how you started layering in people. I love that you said subcontractors, right? And not necessarily committing them to your payroll, which obviously as a business owner, then there comes, some insurances that you have to take care of, workers' comp, these types of liabilities that you have, and new FICA, right? All these taxes. So a lot to learn there, Go for CEO community. Carmen started off subcontracting his own family, right? They had the talent, and then they got to a point where they built enough of a business. Now it made sense to come into the employee status. But as you also heard, diversified his employee base by being in different areas of the country, and especially in this new technology world of growing that. So pretty awesome stuff. So tell us, now it seems like that's a few years into your business. You've kind of niched out some specific areas, some specific industries that you're doing. What are some things that you have seen from your perspective, from the top of the mountain, seeing like, all right, this is changing in digital marketing. Here's what's happening, here. What are some things that you could tell us, maybe a story or two of, let's say, 5 years ago to now?
Yeah, I mean, you as a digital marketer, you have to be very fluid. You have to be very diverse. You can't just be like, all I'm going to do is be a one-trick pony, because that thing might be gone tomorrow. You know, you have to be diversified. You still have to have your niche where maybe I'm just marketing B2B, or maybe I'm just marketing financial industry, or whatever it may be. But you have to be fluid, because the way that people are getting information is always changing. I've seen over the years, going from no search to straight search, to now people are getting their information purely on social media, to advertising in apps and video games. And you have to follow that journey. It's like a technological timeline that you're kind of also following. They have to go along with for the ride, because what you did today, and I always get this, people always come to me, well, I used to advertise in the phone book and now it's not working anymore. Well, no kidding, man. The phone book is dead. When was the last time you saw a phone book, man? Like, you have to go to the digital phone book, which is called Google, and then, what's after Google? I mean, Google pretty much is now becoming like the phone book, right? Google, the way that they've even shaped their homepage is different than what it used to look like. Before it was like, oh, organic SEO was king because they gave it so much real estate. And now Google's taking away all that real estate and turning into paid. So, hey, guess what? Google wants you to pay for those ad spaces. They create guaranteed services and shopping ads up at the top. And they did that for a reason, because they want to make more money. So you can't just be like, well, all I do is SEO and I'm not going to pay per click. Well, I'm sorry, but that real estate that was on that first page in the search engine results is gone now. You have to pay for it, And then, mind you, you have to also do social media advertising and reaching your audiences there. So I mean, you have to be fluid. You can't just be stuck in a one kind of mindset that this is all I'm going to do and that's what I'm going to do every day. You have to stay diversified and keep your mind open as to what are the trends. We get a lot of reports on what are the newest trends, where are marketers putting their money, where are companies putting their money. We follow that. You don't want to be the dinosaur, you don't want to be the cotton gin. You want to stay on top of something.
I love it. So tell us a little bit about then your process, right? Think of it from your perspective. So much information's coming at us, right? As a CEO, driven by mindset and understanding kind of what you need to do. What are some things that you do? Is there maybe an allotted time amount of time that you allot on a weekly basis to research, or is there a certain period of the day that you say, hey, I'm going to, just research this part and give myself some industry advantages and what's going on in my industry? What do you do to kind of stay ahead of the game?
Yeah, I mean, what we do is we assimilate a lot of trends. We subscribe to these giant pillars in the marketing industry, in the SEO industry. That way, we're not trying to create a wheel. We're just kind of following what these other companies are putting in front of us. I mean, you have to realize some of these companies are so big; they put millions, if not billions, of dollars into education and researching all this stuff. I'm an 8-man shop. There's no way that I can do my own research and say that I'm better than their stuff, right? It's taking that data it's assimilating it and having a process where, this looks good. Let's go into a testing phase on ourselves. And if I'm the guinea pig and it works for me, I could do it for other people. We're currently in that process right now. I mean, we just constantly, month over month, assimilate new processes, and you have to document your processes too. You can't just go, no, I'm going to try this, and then, maybe we fail it, maybe we don't. The way you test something should be the same. Whether it's a new technology or a new software or the latest fad. The way that you test something and the way that you assimilate it in your company needs to be a set written process.
Nice. And you bring up something in my mind that I think people are probably hearing as they hear this is something called split testing, right?
Sure.
How have you assimilated split testing in the way that you help clients? Is that something that is a ingrained process? You're always kind of testing a couple things to see which one's working. Let us know a little bit of the insight of your world with split testing.
Yeah, I mean, A/B testing, split testing. I mean, that's pretty much the backbone of marketing, right? So, I mean, you start a new campaign. That's a test. You're testing it against something that previously worked. You want to always build off of what you're currently doing. You don't want to go, okay, this has worked. I'm going to ditch this. This is gone, and I'm going to do something totally brand new. No, that's insane. But you know what? You have to say that out loud because people do that all the time, and they do it at large levels too. For instance, I had a client that recently was bought out by a much larger company, and they brought all their other people in, these experts, and they ditched their current marketing strategy, went with a brand new strategy that was totally like a 180. And then they were in question of, well, why didn't that work out? What happened? Like, you want to build off of something. You don't want to, like, I got a brand new, $5 million home. It's brand new. I'm gonna throw it out and start another $6 million home in the parking lot right next to it. No, you want to build off of your successes, because you don't want to throw away that success. It's hard to succeed in business. It's hard to succeed in life, anything that you do. You want to build off of that. You don't want to just throw it out, throw it in the trash. So that's kind of like a tip if you're just starting off in marketing or, doing anything with your company.
So
build your success, man.
Yeah, building that foundation, right? I think in personal finance and personal health and personal business, or business, it's really building that foundation, layering it up. I love what you're saying. And there is times, right, that you do throw away the trash that wasn't working, right? But like you said, if you could kind of pick up the nuggets of the foundation that you already have, it's pretty awesome to see. So look, Carmen, we've talked from like beginning stages and kind of seeing where you were headed, in that first mindset, working for someone, kind of moonlighting, double dipping side, then seeing that your own family came into the fray. You subcontracted them at the beginning, then you became employees. You've talked also about how you kind of have a step-by-step process with your clients. And then you've talked marketing, right? So we've kind of run the gamut of a lot of the things that are going on. So I know last year, 2020 was not an easy year for most people. Can you tell us a little bit about just, the pivoting mindset, right? And then as we kind of finish up the interview here, we'll go over through our CEO process of client experience, employee engagement, and operational excellence. But let's talk a little bit about, because I think people would get a lot of value out of that pivoting mindset and what you did last year as things were kind of escalating with the pandemic and everything. And I know you're more of a digital kind of virtual company. Anything that you could share with the audience that you did well in pivoting?
Well, I mean, obviously with the last year with COVID, it taught us a lot, right? I mean, if anything, it taught us how to be more granular in your business, to really set up your business for success this year. I mean, last year, everybody was chopping the fat, man. Everybody was, taking whatever wasn't used, whether it be unused software, unused payroll, unused, properties, unused marketing budgets, whatever it may be. And it really made you dive into the books. and really concentrate what is succeeding, what is working. So that way this year, you're more efficient. I mean, it's almost like last year, you came in as a 400-pound gorilla and you lost all this weight, and now you're agile, right? You're like in shape, you're ready to go. So far, I mean, Q1, I've already done my end of quarter books, and they're great. They're awesome. They're with where we were pre-COVID, and same thing with our clients. Last year they went through the same worries, the same headaches, the same stuff that we went through. A lot of them tried to chop a lot of their marketing budgets and go down to next to nothing. And I had to kind of talk them off the ledge that, hey, this is going to get better. This is going to be better. When it does get better, you want to be able to hit the ground running. You don't want to be 10 steps behind because everybody else has been moving forward, right? So this year, it's COVID is very impactful for all business. And I think this year you're going to see a lot of success in business, and people are really serious about business and their companies this year. So yeah, I'm excited for this year. And so far, so good. We had a rock star Q1, and I want to continue that throughout the year. And same thing for my clients. I have a lot of different clients in a lot of different industries, and same thing. They're putting the COVID behind them, and they're moving forward. Some clients, they actually did better than average on during COVID, and they thought they were going to have very pitiful years. I think just getting over that anxiety at first was a big deal. And now that they're done with the anxiety, now that they see that they're going to be okay, they are okay. And now they're just going to be successful.
Interesting, right? I think I'm not going to quote this perfect, but Warren Buffett talks about buying the fear, right? Dive into the fear even more,
Yeah.
because what happens, like you just said, some of your clients were kind of freaking out. Where do I cut the fat? Where do I cut the fat? Really, the fat wasn't marketing. The fat was maybe, unfortunately, some things that they were overspending on or doing other stuff. But marketing should have been like something they dove into more for. So it's pretty awesome to hear that you coached your clients to understand, like, hey, if you get through this next 6 to 12 months and you actually put implementations of systems and marketing and things that get your name out there, you're going to be 10 times ahead, which goes to show that you took your own words, right? Your first quarter was basically as good as your best quarters out there at your highest times. So that's pretty awesome in 3 months to recover to a great pace. So kudos to you. So as we finish the interview here, Carmen, our Go for CEO community is used to our CEOs and founders and entrepreneurs talking about the CEO, right, of business, the client experience, the employee engagement, and the operational excellence. So while we go through that first one, maybe 30, 45 seconds, what is the value proposition that tag marketing brings to the table when you think about client experience?
Well, client experience is very personal, right? You want to make sure that, your client experience is top notch, that, the food on your menu is top notch. Everybody likes to think that, they're the best, and that no matter what they do is the best. But you have to realize that you're not the best. You think you're the best, but you're not the best. So, what can you do to make that experience better? What can you do to make that experience the best for your clients? You always have to improve. You always have to give personal one-on-one attention, and you always have to make sure that they are really happy, and you're not just telling them that they're happy because you're telling them you're the best. You want to make sure that you're giving the actual experience.
It's awesome. Awesome. And then the E is for employee engagement. And obviously you started with subcontractors and kind of testing people out. You even shared a 90-day window that you developed to see if they were a good fit for your company. So what does employee engagement then mean to you?
It's very important. Employee culture is very important. Employee engagement is very important. Once again, you think people want to work for your company just because you have a company and you're the boss and they need a paycheck. But at the end of the day, that works against you. That's the absolute opposite. Kids are coming out of school with 6-figure debts, and they think that day one coming out of school, they get a 6-figure income. And It's not the truth. So you have a lot of stuff out there. You know, you have a lot of people out there looking for jobs. People flip jobs nowadays, like you know, you flip a house or you flip a car, or you know, I mean, it's you really have to ask yourself, well, if I was in their shoes, what would I want? What would I expect? You know, am I a Mickey Mouse rink-a-dink outfit, or am I a real legit company that somebody would be happy to work for? So that would be my little 2 cents on employee experience.
Awesome, brother. And great stuff, right? I mean, you're saying from the top of the house, like, hey, you need to know what you mean to that person of why they want to work for you. So, all right, last one. And you kind of went through a pretty nice in-depth part of the conversation here with operational excellence, but what would be another 30 seconds of like, hey, why does tag marketing really give the best value prop to the clientele, to the marketplace of your operational excellence?
I mean, we get it. We understand that everybody is coming to us for the same reason. I hear the same spiel over and over and over again. And it's just basically dealing with that whole, you know, anxiety of, I don't know what to do. I'm coming to you marketing, or I have something that's semi-successful, but I think it could be better. Everybody comes to us with that. I mean, we're used to that. That's how we make our living, you know. I mean, you know, you're right here and you want to be right here. All we are is the gap in between. That's all a marketing company is. You know, you're at this ground floor, you have all these pain points and challenges that you want to get to up here, and then that's where we come in. And we do it with a set process, you know, just like when you go to a restaurant, you just don't walk into a restaurant and go, what kind of ingredients you guys have? What are you guys going to make me today? No, I mean, you have a set list of, if this is what you're trying, if this is the ailment that you have that you're trying to rectify, what do I need? What is the marketing deliverable that's going to take care of that? You know, so, you know, that's basically how, you know, I would spin the process, you know.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, look, Carm, you know, it's been a pleasure. I know I've known you for, I think, about a decade or so. It was,
Too long, too long.
yeah, too long. But finally having you on the Go for CEO channel,
Yeah.
we're about 50 something videos in or interviews in, and excited to bring you back in about 6 to 12 months, really just to kind of set that journey for the tribe that wants to be a part of the tag marketing alliance, right? People that will follow you and follow your brand, follow your team. Can you tell them also to, you know, where to find you right now? What's your website? Maybe a phone number that you want to share? Instagram. I know that you talked about branding earlier. Is it kind of the same name at all platforms? Go ahead and share with the people where they can find you.
Yeah, just Google me, Carmen Taglia or Tag Marketing Chicago, and you know, proof is in the pudding. You know, we do our own marketing, we do our own SEO, so we're right at the top of the page when you Google that. You know, or you could just type in tag-ad.com, or look me up on Facebook. I have a very unique name, Carmen Taglia, so it's not tough to find me.
All right, and Taglia is Taglia.
You're the man.
That's right. That's right.
Man.
Awesome. Well, awesome. Well, hey, I know we didn't get into the Hampton and the Sayers there, but obviously we're Chicago kids. We have Chicago roots. Ladies and gentlemen, the Go for CEO community is really about bringing you real, you know, entrepreneurs, real CEOs, real founders, and real people, even entrepreneurs. I'd love to have Chris on. I know Chris and I debate on Facebook on political issues and things like that. He's a great guy and he's your brother. But I'd love to have him on, if you don't mind, as an intrapreneur, because he's inside of your company and being of the mindset of running the business, just like you as the CEO. So,
Sure.
but any parting words for our Go for CEO community that you'd love to share? And then we'll see you in about 6 or so months.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if anybody out there has any questions or needs help with anything, or you're lost in your marketing journey, talk to me. Give me a ring. Send me a text. Send me a LinkedIn message, whatever. I'd love to talk with you.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, hey, Go for CEO community, make sure, again, to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and leave a comment for Carmen. You know, I know that he'll be on top of sharing with you ideas. If you have questions or anything that you want, leave a comment, and let's interact and have some great conversations beyond this interview. So thanks so much, Carmen. I appreciate you joining the Go for CEO community.
Thank you, John. You're awesome, man.
Take care.
Keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing.